The night I met the man I was paid to destroy, the moon itself seemed to hold its breath. Gold, masks, whispered lies, and the hum of forbidden desire. Everything about that ballroom felt wrong, yet magnetic. What if the man she was sent to ruin was the one her heart had been waiting for? Why did his eyes burn like he already knew her name? And what if love itself was the curse she was born to fulfill? Beneath the glamour, Celine's pulse races with guilt. Every word she speaks is a lie she rehearsed 100 times, yet the warmth in Dorian's eyes makes her forget the script. He isn't supposed to look at her like that. He isn't supposed to feel real. You don't belong here, he tells her softly, as if he's known her for years. She smiles, pretending not to flinch, because deep down she knows he's right. She doesn't belong anywhere, except in this moment with him. Her father's voice echoes in her memory. Seduce him, ruin him, end this war. But when Dorian reaches to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, she feels something ancient stir. Something no order could silence. As the night ends, he offers her a card embossed with a silver emblem. Hail Enterprises. Come see me tomorrow, he says. And though she nods like a perfect liar, her heart betrays her with one silent truth. She already will. The morning after the masquerade, Celine walked into Hale Enterprises like a ghost with a secret. Every step echoed in the marble hall, her heels clicking with purpose she didn't fully feel. Dorian was already there, reviewing documents, his storm-gray eyes lifting briefly to measure her, weighing her like a decision yet to be made. She had rehearsed her charm, her coy smiles, but seeing him stripped of the gala's performance, unmasked in sharp reality, made her pulse betray her. What game could she play when he seemed to anticipate every move, every thought? As though the bond between them had been written long before this moment. Celine followed Dorian to the project room, heart thrumming in tandem with the clock ticking on the wall. He spoke of numbers, contracts, and logistics, but his voice carried a weight beneath the mundane words, a subtle pull she couldn't resist. Every glance from him was calculated yet intimate, brushing against her like wind on a cliff's edge. She wanted to retreat, to remind herself she was a weapon, but her body betrayed her. Was she the one manipulating him, or was he the one ensnaring her heart? In that sterile room, the battle of desire and deception began quietly, but it was already inevitable. By evening, Celine felt the weight of her deception pressing against her chest. Dorian had assigned her tasks requiring proximity, forcing shared spaces and whispered conversations that felt far too intimate for the plan she was sworn to follow. When he reached for her hand to guide her through a filing room, she froze, the warmth of his touch igniting a storm she wasn't prepared to navigate. Could she betray him when every instinct screamed to protect him? Every stolen glance, every accidental brush of fingers, tied her closer to the very man she had been paid to ruin. That night, Celine returned to her apartment, her reflection in the glass window betraying the lies she told herself. Dorian's presence lingered in every thought, every pulse like a phantom she couldn't shake. She replayed their day, the touch, the laughter, the subtle command in his gaze, and questioned the mission itself. Was her father truly in control, or had fate already chosen Dorian as her undoing? Her magical gift stirred as she touched the scar at her collarbone, sensing his emotions mingling with hers, a dangerous tether she hadn't asked for but couldn't ignore. The following day, Dorian invited Celine to a private meeting in the rooftop garden, a rare slice of serenity above the city chaos. Flowers bloomed with faintly shimmering petals, and the breeze carried both perfume and electricity. He looked at her differently now, softer yet unwavering, as if aware of the war raging inside her. Words unspoken hung between them, weighted with anticipation. Every heartbeat, every subtle brush of air made her wonder. Was she seducing him? Or was he drawing her into an intimacy she could never escape? Either way, the game was no longer hers to control. Astani or for. The storm raged outside Hale Estate, lightning fracturing the sky like jagged silver knives. But inside, the true tempest was in Selen's chest. In a dim library, Dorian led her to a hidden alcove where a centuries-old painting glowed faintly. Dust motes swirling in golden light. Her breath caught. Two figures locked in embrace, frozen in a scene identical to her and Dorian's first dance. This is us," she whispered, voice trembling. He nodded, gray eyes haunted, revealing a curse older than either family. Every move, every feeling, every choice had been preordained by blood, magic, and love, meant to destroy. Dorian's voice was barely audible over the rain. Our families, our ancestors were bound by a pact, a prophecy written before we existed. Love, betrayal, death. They are all intertwined. Celine felt a chill wind curl around her spine, the scar at her collarbone tingling. She had always known her mother's death was more than tragedy. Every heartbeat with Dorian now pulsed with inherited magic, a tether she could not break. The revelation made the masquerade, the seduction, the lies, all seem insignificant against the weight of destiny. Could she betray him and still survive the prophecy? Celine sank to the floor, heart hammering. The words Dorian spoke, curse, prophecy, magic, felt like a weight pressing on her chest. Her mother had tried to protect her, but Magnus had hidden truths, manipulating destiny like a chessboard. Now she understood the stakes. Her seduction wasn't just a mission. It was a test written by fate itself. Dorian knelt beside her, hand warm against hers, and she realized she didn't want to follow the plan anymore. But could love survive the burden of centuries-old curses when every touch could ignite destruction? That night, in the rooftop garden, magic whispered around them, leaves glowing faintly under the moonlight. Dorian traced the scar at her collarbone with a finger, his voice low. "We're bound, Celine, not just by this city or our families, but by blood older than time. I fell for you before I even knew who you were." Her chest tightened, emotions colliding with reason. How could she love the man she was sent to destroy? The wind carried the scent of jasmine and rain, and she realized every instinct, every heartbeat was entwined with his. Fate demanded a choice she wasn't ready to make. Lightning split the sky, but inside all she felt was the quiet thunder of destiny. Celine reached for Dorian's hand, their fingers entwining like threads long separated. "If this is a curse," she whispered, "then I choose you anyway." He cupped her face, storm-gray eyes reflecting storms and stars alike, and kissed her forehead. In that instant, the prophecy shifted. It wasn't just about betrayal or death anymore. It was about defiance, love, and the power of two hearts that refused to follow the rules written before they were born. Magnus's voice echoed through the darkened study, sharp and relentless. "Celine, the heart of ether belongs to our bloodline. Take it, or remember, you'll never escape me." She felt her chest tighten, magic stirring faintly in response to her father's demand. Her hand shook, but she nodded, knowing refusal meant losing everything. That night she crept through Hale Estate, shadows clinging to her every step. Dorian's presence lingered in the hallways she once felt safe in, and betrayal tasted bitter on her tongue. Could she complete the task and survive the weight of her own conscience? She found the heart of ether in a glass case, glowing faintly, humming with a power she didn't fully understand. Her fingers hovered over it, torn between love and duty. Every memory of Dorian, the warmth of his hands, the intensity in his storm-gray eyes, the promise of something real, pushed against her father's command. She wanted to scream, to run, to confess, but the path was set. Trembling, she lifted the artifact, feeling its pulse sync with her own heartbeat. a cruel reminder that the very thing she stole could also steal him from her forever. She handed the heart of ether to Magnus the next morning, the glow of the crystal casting cold light across her pale face. He smiled, satisfied, but she felt hollow, as if a part of her soul had already been claimed by guilt. Meanwhile, Dorian searched for her, unaware of the betrayal, calling her name through empty halls. Celine's chest ached. She could still feel the echo of his hands brushing hers, the warmth that had become impossible to forget. Every heartbeat was a lie now, every breath a reminder that she had chosen survival over love. Dorian found her in the rooftop garden, rain streaking down the windows behind her. His storm-gray eyes, full of confusion and pain, searched her face. Celine, what happened? She could not meet his gaze, her fingers clutching the empty space where the artifact had been. The magic in the air seemed to shiver, as if the heart of ether itself mourned the act. Celine's lips trembled. Guilt threatened to crush her. How could she explain that the man she loved was now a pawn in her father's scheme, and that she had betrayed him without a choice? That night, Celine lay awake, the stolen heart of ether pulsing faintly under her cloak. Every beat of her heart mirrored Dorian's, a cruel reminder of the intimacy they had shared and the rift she had created. Magnus's victory felt hollow. Her love felt shattered. Yet, somewhere in the dark, spark remained, a fragile hope that fate, however twisted, had not finished its game. Could Dorian forgive her? Could she survive the consequences of a betrayal written by blood and bound by magic? Tomorrow would test everything she thought she knew about love and destiny. The city blurred past the carriage window as Celine clutched the heart of ether, each pulse of its magic echoing like a warning through her veins. Her chest ached with guilt and longing, the weight of betrayal pressing harder with every mile. Dorian's face haunted her memory, the storm-gray eyes, the trust she had shattered. In her heart, she knew the curse had awaked. Dreams of fire and shadow, whispers of ancestors long dead, clawed at her sleep. How could she outrun destiny when it pulsed inside her, a tether to the man she couldn't leave behind? That night, Celine dreamt of Dorian, his hands reaching for her, lips hovering near hers, but shadowed by fire and broken glass. Each vision was more vivid than the last, the curse gnawing at her from the inside. Magic twisted her memories, turning love into torment and desire into fear. She awoke drenched in sweat, the heart of ether glowing like a small sun in the darkness. No distance could protect her from fate, and no silence could hide her guilt. She had set the world in motion, and every heartbeat reminded her that the fall was only beginning. Dorian prowled the Hale estate, his storm-gray eyes scanning every shadow, every corner, desperate for a trace of Celine. The corridors echoed with the memory of her laughter and the warmth of her hand in his. The artifact was gone, and with it, a piece of him. Magic hummed in the walls, whispering her name, bending reality around his grief. He stumbled into visions of fire, of betrayal, of a woman he could not save. The curse tightened its grip, reminding him that love without trust was a weapon, and he had been disarmed. Days passed in a haze of fear and visions. Celine saw Dorian in flashes of gold and shadow, his expression twisted by betrayal, yet softened by longing. The heart of ether throbbed violently in her hands, sensing with her heartbeat. Every dream became a warning. The curse was active, and neither could escape its reach. She realized that fleeing had only deepened the bond, intertwining their fates in ways neither could resist. Pain, love, and magic collided inside her, a storm she could no longer outrun. Could she face him and survive, or would the fall consume them both? No, on the cliff's edge, overlooking the stormy sea, Celine felt the curse's full weight. Lightning split the sky as the heart of ether glowed violently in her hands, tethering her to Dorian, a across the city. Every heartbeat screamed his name. Every breath pulled her toward him. She could not escape, and he could not forgive what had already been done. Yet, in the chaos, a single truth emerged. Their love was stronger than betrayal, more enduring than fear. The fall was not the end. It was the beginning of a reckoning neither of them would survive unscathed. Celine returned to the ruins of Hale Estate. Under a silver moon, the weight of the heart of ether pulsing like a heartbeat against her chest. Broken walls and charred remnants of gardens whispered memories of what had been, and of the trust she had shattered. Every step echoed in the empty halls, a reminder that her betrayal had left more than Dorian wounded. It had left the estate itself hollow. Magic stirred faintly around her, sensing her intent, bending the shadows toward her, daring her to reclaim what she had lost and defy the curse that held them both. In the library, Celine found traces of Dorian. Upturned papers, a knocked-over candle, a faint scent of cedar and rain. She whispered his name, and the walls themselves seemed to respond. Magic rippling with anticipation, her fingers brushed the scar at her collarbone, feeling the tether between them thrumming like a living thing. Memories of stolen moments, whispered secrets, and the warmth of his storm-gray eyes flooded her, making the weight of guilt unbearable. She realized that returning wasn't just defiance, it was survival, for both of them, against the cruel designs of fate and her father's manipulations. Dorian appeared from the shadows, storm-gray eyes flashing with a mix of anger and longing. The moment stretched, electric, and unbearable. Celine, his voice trembled, yet carried the weight of power restraint. She lifted her chin, meeting his gaze, the heart of ether glowing between them. Their magic reacted to one another, threads of energy twisting and pulsing in the air. The curse had awakened fully, yet here they were, defying it together. Every instinct screamed to embrace, every reason warned of destruction. Could love truly survive this chaos? Celine extended the heart of ether toward him, the glow intensifying, reflecting in Dorian's storm-gray eyes. "It's not too late," she whispered. The past, the betrayal, the lies, the stolen artifact, hung between them like a thick fog. Yet as their hands met over the crystal, pulses of magic intertwined, weaving threads of fate anew. The curse hissed, resisting, but love was stronger than prophecy in that moment. Pain, regret, and desire collided, leaving only one undeniable truth. They were bound together, whether by destiny or defiance, and nothing could sever the tether now. The magic surged violently, twisting reality around them as the curse tried to reclaim control. Celine and Dorian clung to one another, hearts sensing with the heart of ether's pulsing light. Every fear, every betrayal, every pain fused into a single moment of defiance. She whispered, "We choose us." And for the first time, the prophecy faltered. The storm outside softened. Petals of the rooftop garden shimmered inside the library, and the ruins of the estate seemed to breathe with relief. Love had returned, and with it, the power to rewrite fate itself. Celine and Dorian stood together at the gates of Vale Manor, the heart of ether glowing between them like a heartbeat of defiance. Magnus emerged, eyes cold, sharp blue, a smirk masking fury. "You think you can defy destiny?" he hissed. But Celine's green eyes blazed, and Dorian's storm-gray gaze held unyielding power. Magic pulsed around them, a visible tether of love and choice. For the first time, she realized that their bond wasn't just fate. It was strength, rebellion, and devotion intertwined. Tonight, love would be their weapon against tyranny. Magnus lunged, anger erupting like wildfire, but the heart of ether flared, a barrier of shimmering light surrounding Celine and Dorian. Their pulses sensed, magic weaving a shield neither fate nor blood could break. "You underestimate what love can do," Celine said, voice steady despite the tension. Magnus recoiled, realizing that the centuries-old curse he had relied upon was unraveling. The heart's glow intensified, reflecting the power of two hearts willing to challenge everything written against them. For the first time, the prophecy seemed uncertain, fragile. Celine stepped forward, voice unwavering. "Your war ends tonight, Father. No one dies except the curse you've chained us to." Dorian tightened his hold, storm-gray eyes never leaving hers, strength flowing between them like electricity. The heart of Ether pulsed violently, and the magical chains of the curse shattered in golden sparks. Magnus tried to resist, but love, choice, and courage proved stronger than bloodlines and fear. In that instant, centuries of pain, betrayal, and manipulation broke, leaving only the raw, undeniable power of two hearts rewriting destiny together. The curse dissolved like mist in sunlight, leaving the estate and their hearts breathing again. Celine and Dorian collapsed together on the steps, drenched in rain and magic, laughter and tears mingling. Every scar, every betrayal, every painful memory became a thread in a tapestry stronger than before. Magnus, defeated but alive, watched silently, powerless to undo the choice made by two people who had refused to be pawns. Celine traced the scar at her collarbone, feeling warmth that wasn't just magic. It was love, fierce and unbreakable. Finally free to flourish, dawn broke over the city, painting the ruins in soft gold. Celine and Dorian stood on the rooftop, hands entwined, the heart of Ether now a steady, calm glow. "We survived." Storm-gray eyes soft. "And will thrive," she replied, green eyes reflecting hope and power. The curse was gone, but the memory of trials remained, a testament to their love. Together they had rewritten fate, choosing each other over prophecy, vengeance, and fear. As the first light of morning touched their faces, they finally understood. Love was not just their shield, it was their freedom.